Megan, it's like 8:14. Please. Oh God.
Well, you still have 45
Rebooting.
minutes. What are you going to do for 45 minutes if you don't keep playing?
Well, not talk. Drink more water. Well, I gave you special tea, and I didn't make it.
Your Highness. Otto.
What?
And you don't even get it all the time, so that makes it a novelty.
What is happening?
Your Highness?
Vex! He smiles when I turn, and something in my stomach feels lighter. It's been a year since we first met. A year and 1 day and 22 hours, to be precise. But who's counting? And I still remember the day like it was only yesterday.
Okay, I gotta say, with this costume, all he needs is that little bellhop cap.
He can handle my suitcase. He can handle my luggage.
I mean,
What?
they're...
He
Listen,
can handle my baggage. And not just emotional.
I was going to say, not even I can handle all your baggage.
Listen. You love handling my baggage.
all right,
It's like, the fuck is happening? Both of you, stop!
all ready for the masquerade?
With a small nod, I gestured to my outfit, silently gauging his reaction. I had one of the servants pick it out for me earlier, a young human who seemed to know a thing or two about the latest fashion. Vex nods in approval as he takes in my appearance, and I turn a little to let him get a glimpse of the entire thing. It isn't often I have an excuse to wear anything so fine. Being the youngest of the Pegasi children, I'm often confined to one section of the palace and never invited to any of the royal functions, save the odd wedding or funeral. My gaze settles on him, nerves getting the best of me now that we're ready to leave, though he only smiles at me reassuringly. He's the only person who smiles at me in this place, the only one who even cares about my happiness, except for... Do you really think this is a good idea? What if somebody recognizes me? One corner of his mouth tilts into that knowing smirk that I've come to look forward to every day, the one that makes it seem like he has a secret, something he wouldn't tell anyone but me.
That's what the mask is for.
Taking the lacquered mask from my hands, he stepped slowly behind me, positioning it in front of my eyes and tying it by the ribbon behind my head. I bite down on my lip, dread worming its way down my bones. He has so much to lose if we get caught as I do. Perhaps even more. My hands shake at my sides and Vex puts a reassuring hand on my shoulder to keep me still.
We snuck out of the palace yesterday and into the city to visit that cafe you love so much, and you're still afraid of a little masquerade ball?
I tilt my head slightly to make a face at him, wrinkling my nose to show that it's hardly the same thing. Yes, the city, not right under my parents' noses for all to see. It's then that Vex steps in front of me, his fox-like face and sharp eyes facing me head-on, and a soft smile gracing his lips.
Nothing bad will happen to you, Otto. I promise. You gonna give him a little smooch?
I'm gonna give him a little smooch. I want to play this as like he was kind of like my romantic interest when I had my memories, and so it's gonna add to the drama of a love triangle. I am creating a love triangle. We're having a romantic geometry.
That is an option in the game.
Love triangle. Can we have a polycule?
There are no polycules because
Love parallelogram?
because
A
none
love
of the
rhombus?
characters on the ship,
Rhombus of Doom?
like
Parameter.
maybe a couple characters on the ship could be, but not with like any other crew member.
Devs, I would like to request a love rhombus. Maybe a little parallelogram.
I believe that's called a harem.
A harem?
A harem.
Okay, let's get back to this.
I step forward and place a soft kiss on his cheek, feeling the smile that lifts the corner of his lips. I trust you to keep me safe, Vex. When I whisper in his ear, he hums his approval, stopping me with a hand on my waist before he can pull me back again. Or before I can pull back again.
And how do you know you're safe from me?
He floods my cheeks and my pulse spikes. I have to admit to myself that I like the way he's looking at me, like a fox stalking his next meal. He reaches out to smooth a wrinkle on my outfit, his fingers so gentle when he touches me.
I'll be by your side the entire time.
I know he's telling the truth, and I trust him so much that the nerves start to settle, and I manage a small smile of my own. As a member of the Royal Guard, Vex Seraph has sworn to protect my life against danger and that may befall me. But there's more than that. He's just a guard. He's my friend. My boyfriend. My only friend. That's not a
Oh, you
problem.
got an OnlyFriends page.
Oh, God. That's like a more depressing version of OnlyFans.
It's your only friend.
When he holds his arm out, I take it with renewed confidence, letting him lead me toward the secret passage off to the side. This passage comes out on the other side of the palace, just beside the large oil painting of my grandfather and the entrance to the library. There are many passages like this, but this one is mine, and Vex and I have explored them all.
Oh my God.
I know I should feel guilty about this. This is obeying a direct order from my parents to keep it to the confines of the palace's south wing, instead of running wild and unseen through the very depths of the palace.
Your dad has so many wives and children. I don't think he fucking remembers you.
Yeah, and with a member of the Royal Guard, no less.
We're almost there.
Vex squeezes my arm gently as we navigate through the dim passageway, and I can tell that he's excited, which calms me somehow. We step out from the hole in the wall, taking care to remain unseen, and prepare ourselves for the masquerade that awaits us.
Otto.
The memory ends suddenly, cut short by the sound of my name, spoken by a familiar voice, a voice from my past. Vex? My head feels heavy, and I raise a hand on my scalp, pushing against the throb that settled beneath my skull. I remember a little. Bits and pieces become clear the more that I think about it, though there's one thing I know for sure. Vex is here, and I remember him.
Otto. I mean, Your Highness. What are you doing here?
The question stuns me for a moment, taking me off guard as memory after memory of the man in front of me rushed to the surface of my mind, piecing together like glass unbroken. My memories remain blurred, mere fragments needing a little more time to come into focus. But others swim to the surface, desperate for air while they leave me breathless, struggling to stay afloat. You left me. Emotions hit me one after the other, relentless in their assault, fear, confusion, anger. Vex, how could you? I meet the eyes of my old friend, expecting to find the kind, emerald green gaze I'd grown used to, but instead, I see nothing. Nothing but anger, bitterness, and spite. Dread snakes through my veins. Something is wrong. Something is different, and I can't figure out what.
I thought you were dead. You were supposed to be.
Vex stops, the muscles feathering in his jaw as it tightens and he sets his unfeeling gaze on me.
How did you escape?
Escape? He thinks I escaped the attack on the palace? I remember what truly happened. I remember my brother's wedding, how we were all at the palace that night, the perfect time for an enemy to strike. I left the reception early, planning on leaving the city to search for Vex, and now here he is, standing right in front of me. So much has happened since I last saw you. I was rescued by a crew of mercenaries after being injured on Goldus. My memory of it was gone until now. Seeing you seems to have sparked something in my mind.
You remembered because of me?
I nod, finding it increasingly difficult to meet those cold, cold eyes of his, the ones that were once filled with such warmth.
What else do you remember?
I remember
Remember forgetting.
we were more than friends. We were inseparable. My throat tightens and I know what I have to say. I have to tell him the truth, even if it is too late. You looked at me in a way that no one else ever had, and I liked the way that made me feel. He takes a step closer. Hand raised as he brushes a knuckle over the side of my face so gently. Megan's living.
How did it make you feel?
Like it was yours, and you were mine. Like nothing could stop us from living the life we dreamed of, from exploring all the places we said we would. His mouth twitches, as if holding something back from something he wants to say. I remember what happened that day. The day of the attack. You left. Weeks went by and no one would tell me why or where you had gone. My chest caved at the memories of being told to sit up, shut up, and do my duty, all while my only friend in the whole world was gone. I ran away. I was desperate for answers. I came looking for you, though I didn't make it very far before. On the last word of my voice cracks, and I will the tears that threaten to spill stay where they are. Why did you leave? Vex stares me down, his eyes cold and unflinching, and I don't understand any of it.
I wasn't your friend. I didn't care about you. Not even when they told me they were storming the palace and exterminating the royal line.
You... what?
I was using you, Otto.
He laughs, but it's a bitter sound, devoid of any warmth.
Those eyes aren't fucking crazy at all. You were so naive. You had no idea. All you wanted was a friend.
I don't believe you. We were friends.
You would think that, wouldn't you? You spoiled little brat.
You spoiled abandoned little brat that everyone forgot about and locked into a... I was in a gilded cage, bitch. The gilded cage match, brother!
What would you have me tell you, your highness? Do you want me to say I missed you? That I thought of you every day and wondered if you'd ever get to see those places we talked about? Wondered if someone better would take you there?
Sounds like you're projecting, sir. It wasn't you about to piss yourself and cry when you realized I wasn't dead.
I didn't miss you. I didn't think of you even for a second.
I didn't think of you every night before I cried myself to sleep like that one scene in X-Men from 1997 with Wolverine staring at Jean Grey's photo. That wasn't me.
Oh my God.
Slap him?
Slap him.
I'm slapping the shit out of this man.
Slap the red out of his hair.
That's right. Slap the highlights out of her hair. My hand whips across the side of his face, a resounding slap, echoing through the alley around us. It's gone full fucking soap opera, bitch. Vex barely moves for a good few moments, but barely even flinches. Then he lunges forward and grabs me by the wrist, pulling me toward him as he hisses at me.
Try that again and see how far it gets you.
I struggle to free myself from his grasp, pulling against him, but it's no use. Vex, stop, you're hurting me. He stares me down, and I'm desperate to know what's going through that mind of his. But when he finally lets me go, all I can do is glare at him darkly. Something shatters inside of me, some remnant of the past that had rushed back to the surface, only to crumble like dust in my hands.
All those times we'd sneak out of the palace just to get away, the passages you showed me, that was exactly what I needed to know.
Oh, great. I'm the reason my family's dead. Love that!
And when I took that information to Zobak, he knew exactly where and how to strike.
I'm really noticing how you're not with Zovak right now, and you're in the middle of Mos Eisley. On some random fucking hick planet in the middle of nowhere, bitch. So it sounds like your ass got abandoned. Sounds like I wasn't the only one getting used, bitch. Anyway, no. It can't be true. If it is, that means it's my fault.
If you know what's good for you, you'll stay far away from the Andromeda 6 and her crew. They know too much, far too much, and they'll be dealt with soon enough. Forget who you were, Otto. That person doesn't exist anymore. If you're lucky, you'll never see me again.
He is so incredibly in love with my ass.
I know.
He's like, I'm trying to make you hate me so you leave. It's like yelling at the dog to make it leave because you can't keep the dog. in the second act of the movie where you need to be depressed.
Oh, that.
He turns to leave, stopping for the briefest of moments to say from over his shoulder,
I'm not sorry for what happened, but I am sorry for Nerissa. She might have made a good queen, but we couldn't wait long enough to find out.
He backs into the shadows, one foot behind the other, and I can't stop myself from reaching for him. You can't leave, not now. I need to know more. Nerissa. Something sharp stabs through my chest, a pain so fierce I can barely keep myself on my feet. Nerissa, my eldest sister and heir to the Pergassi throne. Vex is the only one who ever smiled at me, ever, except Nerissa.
Otto!
Footsteps echo through the darkness, but my mind has trouble processing the presence. Nerissa, she was going to be queen. She hated our father, but she loved me, and now she's gone.
Otto, what the hell are you doing out here? Didn't I tell you to stay in the club?
The captain's voice rumbles right past me.
Are you even listening to me? Stop, Calderon?
Do you not see she's in full disassociation mode? She's not here right now. Bash shoulders past the captain, but I see nothing but shadows and shapes dancing behind the tears filling my eyes.
Can't you see they're upset?
Calderon huffs a breath while cold middle fingers take me by my arm and help me stay upright.
Are you hurt?
I shake my head, unable to speak, and Bash lets out a relieved breath.
Let's take them back to the ship. This isn't the kind of place we should hang about. Damon, do a sweep of the area. Make sure there's nothing out of the ordinary.
I don't have a broom.
He pulls a broom out of nowhere. You don't want to know where.
I don't see it. Oh, no, that's you.
I don't see it when Damon sinks back into the shadows, but it's quiet as mist. But I feel when Bash gently takes me by my arm and guides me to the direction of the ship, Calderon walking up ahead of us. Bash leads me through the crowded street of the city, and I'm glad for it because my mind is elsewhere, lost in the memories of the past. Before I knew it, we were in front of the A6, ascending the loading ramp to the docks. 3 heads snap up when we enter, and immediately Riona is on her feet and coming toward us.
What happened? I'm not sure exactly.
Bash moves away to give me space, though all 5 of them continue to look at me, waiting for answers until Calderon cuts in.
You shouldn't have left the club. You have no idea how dangerous the city can be for someone alone.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Didn't think? Yeah, that seems to happen a lot, doesn't it? Cut it out, Calderon. The last thing we need right now is your bad temper.
Calderon opens his mouth to speak, though stops himself at the sight of Riona's glare.
Fine.
Throwing his arms up in frustration, he backs off and leans against the far wall, a sour expression twisting his features. Riona comes over, putting a hand on Bash's arm to make sure he's all right before turning to me.
Are you okay? When you didn't come back, I was so worried about you.
She lowers her voice and leans closer, glancing at Calderon before fixing her bright yellow eyes on me.
He may have said it in the wrong way, but he's right. Las Vegas is a dangerous place.
I'm sorry for worrying you. I'm sorry I just disappeared. I should have said something. I think back on meeting Vex in that alleyway, on the things he said to me. I've been such a fool to think that I might have meant something to him. Shaking my head to clear the thoughts, I decide it's best not to dwell on it now, especially not with so many eyes on me. I didn't mean to worry you.
I'm just glad you're all right.
I smile at Riona gratefully. It's nice to have someone worry about me for once. I never had that many people like that in my life before. I take in a lungful of air, steadying my breath as I scan the room. One look at the pilot sitting with her arm cradled against his stomach brings memory of that night crashing back on me like a wave of guilt. Aya, is your hand all right? Ayami grins at me, as chipper as ever. I imagine it'd take a lot more than a broken hand to slow this girl down.
A little sore, but it'll be fine by morning. Doc's amazing at her job. And having all the right equipment on the ship doesn't hurt either.
I smiled in return, glad to hear she's okay, even with my failure to bring back the ice for her hand.
Damon!
He was picking on my little sister, so I fucked his ass up. Is what that looks like. When I follow Riona's gaze to see Damon entering the bridge, fresh scarlet blood splattered all over his face and the front of his clothes.
What happened?
Riona rushes forward to help Damon, who simply holds a bloody gloved hand up in front of him to stop her.
We were followed. The blood isn't mine. God damn it.
My gaze darts between the captain and his second in command, as does the rest of the crew.
Followed how?
Damon shrugs, his cold eyes pinned on Calderon in a way that sends a shiver down my spine.
Ask the commander over there. Surely he knows how a guard ship is capable of finding us.
A collective murmur goes through the room, and I swallow around the lump in my throat. More concerning than the fact of being followed is the spattering of blood on Damon's clothes.
It's fine, it'll wash out.
The blood couldn't have come from Vex, could it?
Guard ship, what's going on? They must have put a tracker on us.
Calderon's voice is quiet, and I get the impression that it's more than anything he's angry at himself. Damon shakes his head and scoffs.
You didn't think to check? I was a little preoccupied with the great bloody hole in my ship and the stray that June brought aboard.
I'm gonna tell him to knock it the fuck off. Annoyance surges through me as Captain's casual dismissal, and my eyes narrow darkly on him. You know that I'm still here, right? Calderon gives me a heated look, though June steps into my defense.
Otto's right. There is no need for that.
I double-clicked by accident. Don't you stare at me like that, in that tone of voice.
I'm the one who made the decision to bring them on board. So if you want to be mad at someone, let it be me. I am not mad at anyone. I'm just...
Lashing out? A growl tears from Calderon's throat as he kicks over a stack of metal boxes, completely losing his cool.
How did things get so fucked up?
Seemed like this tears something in me apart, and I wish I could do more to help him. Instead, I can only hope that the truth of who I really am won't change anything between us.
Well,
Girl, it's about to change everything.
turns out.
Things were always fucked up, Cal. We just never learned how to deal with it.
The captain waves a dismissive hand at us all, before pinching the bridge of his nose, taking a deep breath to calm himself.
What's done is done. We'll check in with Oppo about getting a CD. A cloaking device isn't going to do shit if they already know we're here. And how the hell do you expect to get the money for that anyway?
Bash helps Damon find an old rag, leaving it to him to wipe the blood off from his face and clothes while the captain growls at him.
How we always get the money, Damon. We're mercenaries, unless you've managed to forget. You know just as well as I do we don't have the time for that. What else do you propose we do?
Aya gives him a helpless shrug, her glare burning straight through him, and I take the opportunity to speak up before Calderon can enrage anyone further. There might be another way. 6 pairs of eyes follow me, and I hesitate. It's not ideal, what I'm about to propose, but I value our lives far more than some old trinket.
Well, if you have an idea, then spit it out.
Taking a deep, shaky breath, I meet his eyes. We can sell my music box. It's made from catalphanite, right? Surely it's gotta buy the part you need and then some.
Oh, it's made from made-upium.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not, Otto. You can't just sell off the only link you have to your past.
I look at no one but the
Yeah, that's
captain,
pretty
gauging his
nice.
response. Finally, upon making a decision, he lets out a sigh.
I agree, it's not something any of us would ask you to do.
You're not asking. I'm offering, and besides, it's not my only link to the past. June steps forward, his eyebrows dipping in clear
All the
confusion.
while with the Majora's Mask and
What do you mean? I actually do have a physical copy of Link to the Past, but it's the Game Boy Advance version.
I'm gonna tell him about Vex.
Tell him about Vex.
The reason I left the club was because I saw someone from my past, a member of the Royal Guard.
A Royal Guard? I don't understand. What was someone from the RG doing here?
My voice shakes, thinking back to the confrontation with Vex in the alley and everything he had told me. I don't dare tell them that he had lied to me for over a year, pretending to be my friend while gathering intel for the man who murdered my family. And I definitely don't tell them that because of my own naivete. I played right into their palm of their hand and gave them everything. When I saw him, I started to remember. I remember that he was the guard who was assigned to me because Calderon swears under his breath, and when his eyes lock onto mine, I know he's the only one who figured out what I'm trying to say.
'Cause he knows the royal family.
Dang, it's your line.
Go on. Tell them.
With a deep breath, I composed myself, taking over the opportunity to look between the crew before things between us changed forever. My name is Otto Pegasi. I'm the youngest child of King Fenris and the Stellar Queen, Tajin. The faces in front of me are a mix of horror, confusion, anger, and my stomach drops, knowing the weight of the bomb I've dropped on every single one of them.
Oh, this is the good shit.
This is why Megan's here, like,
Oh,
vanilla?
oh. I've played the whole game, so now I want you to experience it.
Oh, we're going to do this in overtime. Absolutely. You want this to be the next game in overtime?
We'll have a list. Well, this changes things.
How many episodes do you put?
Well, we're stopping tonight on this game.
Oh.
Because for October, we're playing a different game. This changes everything.
Damon is the one who approached first. The hard set of his gaze a perfect contradiction to the grin on that tilts his lips. He studies me for a moment, seeing me through the new eyes, before he turns back to the crew.
Don't you see? If we turn over the little royal to Zovac, it could be just enough to wipe his bounty on us from the record.
I do nothing but stare at him in disbelief, my heart pounding in my ears like a drum. What did he just say?
Imagine me beginning this game playing Damon's route, and he just we have a flirty encounter at the bar, and then he's like,
What if I just sold you? And this is after the heartbreak with Vex?
oh yeah. Oh, specifically for my Damon playthrough, I play it that I dated Vex in the past,
So same as me?
and now I'm with Damon, which actually adds a layer of a very Damon Vex specific layer of
Trauma?
angst, shenanigans,
Trankst?
trankst,
What?
Trauma and angst.
trankst.
Duh. At least 2 shouts of outrage came from the group, though Damon only smiled wider, his teeth glinting under the fluorescent lights.
You've gone too far, Damon. Otto is one of us. We're not just going to hand them over to their family's murderer.
Oh, Bash is serious. His eyes red now.
You big Angie. Agreed, and I will kick your ass if another word comes out of your mouth.
My eyes catch June's for the briefest moment, but he looks away just as quickly, fixing Damon with a hard stare. Damon snorts at Aya's threat, rolling his eyes if he couldn't care less. Then he steps toward the captain, his face blocked from my view and his voice low, calculated.
Cal, I know you agree with me on this. Bitch, he's not gonna agree with you.
Calderon looks past Damon, those cold eyes fixing on me to the spot, though I harden myself and stand my ground. And then he shakes his head at the second in command, his voice rough, leaving no room for debate.
It's not an option.
Damon clicks his tongue in disappointment and backs off, hands held in front of him in defeat.
All right, have it your way, but don't go crucifying me for saying what you're all thinking.
He slinks away like an angry cat, every pair of eyes on him as it might snatch me anyway, until he disappears up the stairs and out of sight.
Okay,
Once gone, Calderon lets out a tired sigh.
in his defense, he's known us for 4 days.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And he's just like, these people I've known for years, a motherfucker who's part of the royals who were assholes who I've known for 4 days.
Airlock. Oof.
Exasperating.
I think we should call it a night. It's been a long day and there's much we'll need to discuss tomorrow.
As everyone departs, going their separate ways, I take a moment to glance at the captain. I can't begin to express how relieved I am that he's disagreed with Damon. I don't think my heart could have taken it if he hadn't.
Otto, I need to speak with you.
With a nod, I follow the captain up to the bridge, falling behind and losing myself in thoughts. We walk in silence, but I don't mind it. My head is reeling, and I have to mentally prepare myself for the conversation to come. Despite feeling the two of us have started to understand each other a little better, I can't be sure how he's taking the news of my true identity. If I am being honest with myself, I'm terrified to find out. When Calderon stops, he turns to face me, but the anger is drained from him. Instead, he seems concerned, an emotion I'm not used to seeing on him.
How are you feeling?
The question both relieves and takes me off guard at the same time, and with the way he's looking at me, I know things have changed. Things haven't always been as easy between the captain and I, but despite that, I'm glad he asked. And he had stood up for me against Damon, after all. I'll go with the first one.
Do you want to fall into his arms weeping?
A little bit, yeah. Girl, I'm tired. I've been through it. I just had, like, the worst I've been having amnesia. I wanted to find out who I am. Then I fucking find out. Then my boyfriend that I thought was my boyfriend at the time, and at least my friend, the very least, fucking hates me, was gonna sell me off, and made sure to let me know that I just killed my entire fucking family. Inadvertently, just because I wanted to have a fucking friend. I'm a little fucking emotional right now.
There's another layer.
Like, I'm gonna fall apart at any moment. There's this weight on my chest that just keeps growing and growing, and honestly, I don't know how much longer I can keep it together. Calderon nods, and I know he understands. Perhaps it's something he's even felt before.
It's a lot to take in. Don't feel like you have to hold it together on account of any of us.
Too many emotions cascade through me. I swallow hard, biting down on my lip when the tears sting my eyes, threatening to fall. I can't believe they're gone. Every single one of them.
Even the
babies? Were there babies?
The youngest was 18 months old. That wasn't one of your siblings. That was your cousin.
It's barbaric. Calderon drops his head, letting out a long breath before he looks at me again, his face anguished.
I owe you an apology.
He drags a thumb across his bottom lip, and I can see this isn't easy for him.
You let out a long, thick, hard breath.
I'm sorry for what I said that first day you came aboard.
A long, hard, thick, lumpy breath. Because there's lumps everywhere.
It's almost like he's apologizing because you're a royal.
You don't have to.
No, I do.
The captain fixes me with a hard stare, and I close my mouth, content to listen.
I have to say it. I have no excuse for how I acted. I just need you to know that I'm sorry for all of it. I would prefer the bottom one.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, you can't just say, your family died. Maybe you're...
Hey, baby! No, it's not gonna work. I silently step forward, slipping my arms around him and feeling the strength of his body against mine. He freezes for a moment, before relaxing into my embrace and returning the gesture. I'm glad he doesn't back away, even after finding out the truth of who I am. I couldn't bear it if he did. I can see a little more clearly through the captain's hard exterior. He was protecting his crew, plain and simple. I understand he didn't trust me, but I hope that he's beginning to now. When we pull apart, we don't let go of each other completely. As our eyes lock, my throat tightens. Calderon smiles, but his face drops as soon as some hidden memory surfaces, and he hesitates a moment before speaking again.
I knew your brother, Prince Soren. We trained for the guard together, and we were friends for a time before we were dispatched to different districts.
I freeze, Letting the words sink in, I had no idea the two of them even knew each other. And now that I know, I can't tell how that makes me feel.
Soren was half Kitelfin, if I'm remembering correctly. Think. He was a good man. He didn't deserve what happened to him. None of your family did. Okay. King Fenris and the eldest of two brothers totally fucking deserved it, my guy.
We haven't gotten to that part of the plot yet, Megan. You're talking about shit that I don't even know about yet.
Okay, but at least King Fenris.
Okay.
It
was his wedding, the night of the attack. I remember it now. My voice shakes when I speak, the past hanging over me like a thundercloud, ready to explode. We weren't close, but I never wanted this. I never wanted to see any of them get hurt like this. My breath sticks in my throat, and for a moment I have trouble getting air to lungs that squeeze and tighten in my chest. People hated my father.
Does that mean he deserved to die?
I shake my head. That's not what I meant at all, but I certainly don't wonder why people wanted him gone. I heard what the people said when I would sneak into the city. They said he was narcissistic, that he was leaving the people to suffer while a family drank from golden goblets and ate off silver plates. My brothers and sisters were content to live a life of privilege, either too ignorant or scared to do anything else, but Nerissa,
the heir to the throne,
she loved the people. She tried to change her father's mind on so many things, but he would never listen. And I felt so powerless. I didn't know what to do, so I did nothing. I'm just as bad as he was.
You are like 20 years old, Otto. No, wanting to do something about it, that's the first step.
Second step is doing something.
Otto was 20 and was living in a secured part of the palace. What the fuck was Otto going to do?
For me, it was the only step. Well, in that case, it was the only step I ever made. I never had a chance to do more.
I don't know. Turn it off.
Calderon gives me what might be considered a soft look, if anything about him was soft at all.
When I graduated from my training in the Guard, I was top of my squadron. I could have picked any posting I wanted, but I chose to be stationed in the worst sector of the Bronze District. Do you know why?
I shake my head. From what Damon had insinuated in the bar, I wasn't aware Calderon had a choice as where he was stationed.
Because I wanted to make a difference. I wanted the people to know that there was still someone who gave a shit about them, who would fight for them.
I hide my frown, hesitating before asking the question that's poised on my lips, but it's one that seems important. Because that's where you're from? His blue eyes go dark, but eventually he nods, looking away and letting out a short, sharp breath.
My moms gave me everything I ever wanted, but my birth parents, I couldn't stop myself from wondering if it was their circumstances that prevented them from keeping me.
He was quiet for a moment, but then he says with a shrug.
Or maybe they just didn't want me. Who knows?
I'm sure they did. He glances sidelong at me, putting the wall back in place piece by piece. Before he can finish rebuilding it completely, I ask another question. Why were you exiled? Calderon's throat bobs, his face darkening as he closes himself off more and more.
I don't want to talk about that.
I won't let him shut me out again, not this time. Calderon, please tell me. He stops to study me, as if deciding how much he wants me to know. I see the moment he gives, and when a breath of air leaves him and his shoulders slump in defeat.
I wasn't exiled initially. I was awaiting my execution.
You what?
Accused of the murder of Lord Alberon, the king's uncle, and the head of the Crown Council.
My eyes widen on the man in front of me, hardly believing what I'm hearing. I remember Lord Alberon's death. I remember attending his funeral with the rest of my family and how my father had taken the loss particularly hard. They said his murderer was caught and being brought to justice. Back then I didn't care to know more. I never liked my father's uncle. He was mean and cruel and was hated by the peoples, almost as much as the king himself. But Calderon, it can't be true. You murdered him? He gives me a look, offended that I even have to ask the question, and immediately I feel guilty for doing so.
No, I was set up. Oh, it was a setup.
He doesn't reply for a while, pacing instead toward the panel on the far wall and scanning the controls. When he does speak, his voice is low, barely audible above the beeps and whirs of the bridge.
I cared about those people in the Bronze District, but I was the only one. When I started pushing for change, others saw that as a problem. I was betrayed by those closest to me, and used as a pawn in Jess Zovak's scheme to get rid of the biggest opposition to his claim and infiltrate the Town Council from the inside.
You know Zovak?
No, not until not until Aya busted me out of that prison and told me who was really behind everything I was accused of.
Couldn't you have told someone? Cleared your name?
Zovak already had the council in the palm of his hand. Who would have believed me?
I swallowed hard, knowing that what he says made sense, but hating the injustice of it anyway.
I had a lot of time to think while I was waiting for my death. A lot of time to wonder where things all went wrong.
And what conclusion did you come to?
That I trusted the wrong people, and that I wouldn't make the same mistake again.
Suddenly, the captain's distrust made a lot of sense to me. He was hurt, plain and simple, and all he's trying to do is make sure it doesn't happen again. Who betrayed you?
I think we've spoken about it enough.
I nod. He'd already told me so much more than I ever thought he would. What about the bounty then? What's the deal there?
It's simple, really. When Zovak found out I'd escaped and assembled a crew, he put out the hit on the lot of us. His followers see him as their champion, the protagonist in our little story, banishing the evil king and taking the throne as his own. I would like you to know that when the art of Jazz Zovak came out, everybody in the Discord was like,
"He's our champion!"
But like, but does he need a spouse?
If not husband, why husband shaped?
If not husband, why husband shaped? But the people, the ones who've suffered long and hard enough, see him for what he truly is, a tyrant, pushing those on the lowest rung down further still and calling it salvation. It only takes a spark to start the flames of revolution, as Zovak well knows. That's why he wants us gone.
So you'll fight him?
I'll do whatever I can to pull him from the throne when the time comes. We have to do something, but we're only 6 against an entire army.
7.
Would you fight with us, Your Highness?
Definitely give you legitimacy you didn't have before. Yes. I would if you'll have me.
Just Otto's little noodle arms from being a fucking...
You see these guns? I can almost do a pull-up. I almost did it once, I almost passed out. I may need some exercise. A crooked grin tugs at his lips, and I knew he'd glad to hear it.
If I recall correctly, you've already secured your place on the crew. It's yours for as long as you want it.
I think of the second in command, who might have a different view on the matter. Damon?
Is under my command as long as he's on this ship. I can't make excuses for his behavior. The things he's had to do to survive are brutal, and he's become ruthless because of it. It doesn't surprise me that that was his first instinct. I'm not about to make Zovak's job any easier for him, and I know the crew would agree with me on that. All of them.
I don't say it out loud, but I hope he's right. A sound goes off on the device around his wrist, and with a movement of his arm, he brings up the holo screen and scans the words in front of him.
Ryona is waiting for you in the infirmary. She wants to do a checkup.
I'm okay. She doesn't have to worry. He gives me a look, and I know at once that I'm fighting a losing battle.
She will anyway. Best to put her mind at ease, or she'll be on both our backs about it.
I start to leave, but before I make it much further, he called out to me one last time.
Tomorrow we'll be deciding our next move. You'll have a say in the decision if you want it.
I give a nod, knowing my status as a Royal of the Goldest will be a contributing factor to whatever comes next. With a last goodbye, I leave the captain on the bridge and head toward the infirmary before we both incur the wrath of the Tilari medic. The doors of the infirmary hiss as they open and admit me into the room, and Rayona's head snaps up from where she's seated in front of the terminal. She gives me a soft smile, standing to greet me.
I was beginning to think Calderon ignored my message.
Does he do that a lot? She chuckles, her blue lips widening to reveal most of her teeth.
More than you'd think.
I paced further into the room,
Less than you'd like.
glancing over the various plants and specimens that cover the cabinets and desk. You said you wanted to do a checkup?
I do. Well, I really just wanted to make sure you were all right.
She gestures for me to take a seat on the familiar medical bed, and once again the plastic crinkles under me as I sit. It smells different in here again this time, like jasmine buds in nightfall. I'm sure Riona's mister is to thank for the pleasant scent, and I inhaled deeply, letting it calm me.
So, now that your memories have started returning, how much do you remember?
Bits and pieces. They seem to be coming back easier now, but some are still a little fuzzy. Riona takes her medical wand and lights the tip, checking my eyes first, then my ears before she takes my temperature.
Any pain?
I have a headache, but that's it. She sets down her wand and goes over to a large cabinet. After shuffling in it a little, she comes back with a small container.
Take a couple of these. It's acetaminophen.
Ah!
They'll give you some relief. You can take them every 4 to 6 hours if the pain persists.
Megan, you run for president. You can say that name without flinching. Oh, damn. We can run for Congress now, guys. You can say acetaminophen. Acetaminophen. Acetaminophen.
Peter Serafinowicz?
She fills the glass with water and hands it to me, and I swallow down a couple of the pills. Almost immediately, the ache in my head begins to dull, and I hand the glass back to her with a grateful smile.
I'd like to do some scans over the next couple days. They will take a little while, but it'll give me a clearer view of what's going on in that head of yours.
I nod, and she gives me a gentle smile, placing a comforting hand on my arm.
I can't imagine what you must be going through right now.
And then her face falls, and a glimmer of her skin fades, betraying her true emotions.
I'm sorry for your family, Otto. I truly am.
My throat tightens as tears threaten to spill once again, but I manage a grateful smile through it all. Thank you.
I know what it's like to live with a difficult family, and I've seen my share of tragedy.
After talking it over with Calderon, I don't feel I can take any more talk about my family, so I steer the conversation in a new direction instead. When you left your home, was it a difficult decision to make? Rona gives me a sidelong glance, as though she sees what I'm doing. Thankfully, she runs with it.
The toughest, but I knew I had to do something more. That's when I joined the Archangels and traveled the system with them, helping those in need.
What happened to them? Girl, you need to stop steering directly into other people's trauma to distract from your own. Not cool. With a sigh, she brings her chair over to face where I sit and drops down into it with no small amount of grace. That was a bit of a jumbled line. Love you all. My voice might just be tired.
I'll tell you if you want to hear it, but it's not a pretty story.
I'd like to hear it. I'd like to hear the story, as long as you're willing to tell it. 'Cause lore. She doesn't speak for a moment, gathering her thoughts before her story begins. Before she speaks, her skin flickers, torn between conflicting memories.
When I left Talaran, I was with a friend. Her sister was an archangel, and he was going off to join her. So I tagged along. The work we did was, well, it was amazing at first.
Her face drops, and I know the worst is yet to come.
We were here on Terranium, and a group of Talari certainly draws attention, but we didn't think. We were too focused on trying to get our name out there, on trying to help people. You may know of the Kemari, Zovak's followers. They're a brutal, bloody clan. They do what they want when they want to. One day we were walking the streets when 24, maybe more, surrounded us. 24 against the 10 of us. They rounded us up. They pushed us down a dark alley, away from prying eyes. No one dared to stop them. We had helped countless people, and yet no one helped us. They herded us like cattle. They insulted, beat, and belittled us. A couple of the archangels tried to escape, and while the Kamari were distracted, my girlfriend, Mila, pushed me into the shell of a ruined building. She saved my life. I was able to hide quickly enough, concealed by the remnants of the building I was in. They couldn't see me, but I saw everything. They didn't bother to count the bodies. They didn't care how many of us there were, as long as we were dead. I watched them butcher my friends, every single one of them, and I did nothing.
Your girlfriend saved you for a reason. If you had tried to do anything, you wouldn't be here today.
Maybe it would have been better to die with them.
Girl. My heart clenches, hating how broken the words sound and how her beautiful skin dulls. Don't say that. You still have people who need you. I try to keep thoughts of my family at bay, of their final moments, and what would I have said what would I have seen if I had been there. The memory of Nerissa hits especially hard. Was she frightened? Did she suffer? I can safely say that no matter what happened, my sister would have gone down fighting. She was never one to give up so easily. Riona takes in a deep, shuddering breath, her bright eyes shining with unshed tears.
I can't remember how long I hid there, terrified to leave in case they came back.
She stops suddenly, a silent memory playing in her mind, one only she has access to. With a sigh, she continues her story, her eyes half closed as though she might still be back there in that damned alleyway.
When I finally stumbled out of there, something inside me was changed. I had this anger. I was sad, yes, but that rage consumed me. Rage and helplessness. I was one person against an entire clan. Eventually, I found refuge in a crowded bar, hoping to disappear among the crowd until I could figure out what to do next. That bar was the Ark.
What happened next?
I saw a familiar face, one who insisted he owed me a debt. Sebastian.
Her face lights up at the memory, and I can only imagine how it must have felt to find a friendly face after such a tragedy.
He introduced me to Calderon. I told the captain my story, and since then I've been a part of the crew.
So you joined the crew because you had no other choice?
I joined them because they were hunting monsters. Calderon, after what he had been through, was hell-bent on stopping Zovak and the Kamari by any means possible. Suddenly I wasn't helpless anymore.
She fixed me with those unusual yellow eyes, her stare suddenly determined.
My goodness, her eyes have a repair function?
Mm-hmm.
We failed on Goldus. It won't happen again.
Something in Riona's demeanor scares me a little, though I can't say I blame her for wanting revenge against the group who murdered hers.
So now you know why I joined the Andromeda 6. I'm here to see that Zovak and the Kamari fall. I don't know how, yet, but we'll find a way. That's all that matters.
Oh, we'll muddle through. Believe it.
We'll find a way to topple a government. It's fine. It's easy. There's 6,
Hey.
7 of us.
Hey, if a bunch of kids can do it on Discord in 48 hours in Nepal, anybody can do it.
They also burned down, so many politicians'
Yeah, they
houses.
did. They just torched the entire parliament building in Nepal. It's like, motherfucker, you ain't coming back nowhere. I got all your shit, bitch. I see your determination, and I know how it feels to want justice and even revenge. The most important person in my life was murdered, and I wasn't even there to say goodbye.
Then you know how it feels. How it carves out a piece of your humanity and your faith.
Humanity?
But you're not even human, girl. Our eyes meet, and something in me feels connected by the tragedies we both had to endure.
Aw, we're trauma bonding.
Yay! Wait, no, boo. I'm starting to feel it more than I ever wanted to.
What will you do now that you know?
I wipe away the tears that have spilled from my eyes to the back of my hand, resisting the urge to drown in my own despair. Calderon mentioned a meeting tomorrow to discuss what happens next. I suppose I'll hear what everyone has to say and decide from there. Riona opens her mouth to say something, but stops before the words come out. What is it? With an apologetic smile, she finally speaks.
There are too many people who abuse the power they have, but sometimes doing nothing at all is just as bad. You're the only surviving Pegasi. You have the biggest claim to the throne if you want it. Oh yeah, that's what we need. Another monarchy.
Oh yeah, but I gotta fill that power vacuum. She doesn't meet my eyes, but I understand what she's trying to say. I hadn't had the chance to think on it much, and I'm not sure how much I want to.
Wait, she has to meet every piece of you individually?
Yes.
That's weird.
You're gonna be here for a while.
I know.
There are many people who would support you. I'd support you. You are one person.
Caress her hair? I'm not the... It means a lot to have your support, but I don't know if that's the life I want. Rona meets my gaze with hers, unfaltering, and I can tell that even though it's not exactly what she wants to hear, she understands where I'm coming from. Wait, what happened? I wasn't comprehending. Did she try to make a pass?
No. I was like, oh, I hear that you want me to be like the monarch, but like, that's not for me, dog. And she's like, okay, not everybody wants to rule, and I get that.
It's not something I've ever thought about yet. To be honest, it's not something I've thought about ever.
I mean, we were probably like
the last option.
Yeah, we might not even 12th in line. We were like probably like fucking 20th in line to the throne.
I'm the youngest of 11 children. This day should have never happened.
Whatever you decide, Zovak can't be left to rule. There has to be someone else. Have you considered some sort of council? A parliament?
Well, they've had multiple councils and he infiltrated those too.
But the councils were all ruled by the crown council that was led by the monarch. Have you considered something that's not a monarchy?
There are others who might have a claim, as weak as it may be, but none of that matter with Zovak at the head of power. For all I know, he might have murdered them too. Riona lets out a heavy breath, and for the first time I notice how tired she looks. All of a sudden I feel incredibly guilty for having kept her up so late.
It's late, and we both need to get some rest. I'll see you again when you come back for your scans. I'm sure that tomorrow there will be a lot we all need to discuss.
I stand and straighten myself up, wishing Riona a good night before leaving the infirmary, looking forward to finding a moment of peace alone in my room. How much longer do we have in this chapter?
I don't know.
You're at 10 after 9 right now, so...
Save it, and I don't think there's anything after the room, but we'll do the room.
No, he never made another movie after the room.
We'll do this scene in the room.
Okay.
And then I think that's the end of the chapter.
Okay. Upon entering my room, I fell back into bed, exhausted and thoroughly ready for a moment alone. A wave of emotions crash into me, and it doesn't take long before the tears fall thick and fast over my cheeks, warm and relentless. I curl in on myself, sobbing until my tears run dry and exhaustion leaves me on the brink of sleep. Every memory sinks into an ocean of doubt as I waver between wakefulness and dreams. Nerissa. Vex. The one thing I know is that if I hadn't gone looking for Vex, I wouldn't be alive right now. There had only been a handful of times that my family had all been together, weddings and funerals. Zovak would have had it all planned out. When I think back on my family, on the life we lived together, my feelings are mixed. Mostly I was alone, with only my servants and guards for company. Before Vex came along, I would try to find ways to spend time with my siblings, but the less in common I found we had, the more I stopped trying. The only one who made time for me was Nerissa. Even with all her duties, we had a strong bond. I was always Nerissa's favorite. My sister should have been queen in place of our negligent father, and we both eagerly awaited for her time on the throne. Now my music box, a gift from my eldest sister, is the only thing I have left of her. And my father? My father wasn't supposed to be king. I heard the stories. He had lost his own father and his brother, and all in the same day. He was thrust into the throne, too young and inexperienced to know what to do with it, guided only by his uncle and the crown council.
Lost it?
My grandfather was a great king, or so I've heard, but his brother and son unraveled all he had done in the matter of a few short years and left the system in disarray. My mother was Tajin, the stellar queen, and the king's third wife. She was bitter and cold, and she hated the life in the palace almost as much as she hated my father. Politics forced her into a marriage she never wanted, and by default her children were nothing more than a duty to her. With memories of my family playing in my mind, I eventually drift into a restless sleep. God damn it. I tumble out of the ballroom with Vex on my heels, his laughter almost as loud as my own as we draw the attention of nearby guests. We danced for hours and hours, and I couldn't remember the last time I had so much fun, though things were always fun with Vex around. But the ballroom had eventually started to clear out, and we finally agreed to cut the night short, thinking it best to avoid being seen.
Lieutenant Seraph, what are you doing away from your post?
The captain stops and squints at me, and while Vex quickly steps between us to shield me from his view, it's too late.
Your Highness, you're not supposed to be here.
Vex looks back at me from over his shoulder, a single word slipping from between his lips.
Run.
I don't have to be told twice. Turning on my heel, I bolt down the corridor, pushing through the crowd of confused and horrified guests, who thankfully thin out as I reach the end of the hall, deciding which way to turn.
This way.
A hand grabs mine, and the bubble of laughter escapes me as Vex pulls me down the hall to the left, our feet pounding the carpeted floor as the shouts erupt from behind us. We turn another corner, then one more, until Vex stops in front of a large tapestry, pulls it aside, and pushes me into the hidden passageway beneath it. I lean back against the wall, breathing hard. Vex knows the secrets of this place almost as well as I do, and tonight I couldn't be more glad for it. Vex, I think we lost. Shh. Vex steps before me and clamps a hand over my mouth, just as the sound of footsteps echoes in the hallway on the other side of the passageway. I still at once, satisfied that I won't make a sound, and Vex drops his hand and gives me a crooked grin.
Oh, you're in an ad right now? While you're speed reading?
Move closer to him.
There won't be an ad in the edit.
When I move closer, Vex responds in kind, his body pressing me back against the wall and flooding me with warmth.
Otto.
My hands slip around his neck, brushing over the scars from his gills, and his fingers rest on my waist, keeping me still. Footsteps echo up and down the corridor, but I barely hear them, too focused instead on my own unsteady breathing and the way he leans closer, his emerald eyes locked onto mine.
Are you mine, Your Highness? Otome at Oclock attack helicopter.
His whisper caresses my lips in a warm breath, and I do nothing but nod, fingers threading through his scarlet hair to bring his mouth to mine.
I think there's something in here.
A tap on the tapestry startles us, and Vex grabs my hand to pull me further down the quickly darkening passageway. We all but tumble out from behind a statue and into another corridor, the quiet of the area a welcoming change of pace. Vex catches me around the waist and pulls me against him, wicked humor in his eyes. The remnants of his laughter rumble through me, and when he runs a thumb over my bottom lip, my heart beats an unsteady rhythm in my chest.
Bad touch. Bad touch.
Good touch.
One day we'll leave this place. I'll take you somewhere where there are no rules or expectations, where we can just be us.
Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right, and bloomin' onions as far as the eye can see.
Tisha, mother of God.
Do you promise?
I promise, Otto.
With a start, I wake, bolting upright in bed and blinking against the harsh sun shining through the window. A rhythmic knock on my door drags me back to the present, the rush of memory that had just come to me steadily fading as I get up and make my way to the door, smoothing down my wrinkled outfit. I'm not sure how long I slept for, but the steady stream of sunlight filters through the window tells me it was long enough. When I slide open the door with a hiss, it's to find a certain pilot standing in the doorway, looking much too perky for this early in the morning.
Oh, didn't think you'd be awake already.
Ayame smiles wide, beaming at me with an energy that's not fitting of someone who'd barely gotten any sleep last night.
I bid you good morning, Your Highness. I would not 'Twould not do to waste away daylight. I have thus come to make sure thou art ready for the day ahead.
Giving me a half bow, the poor usage of Old English, coupled with the choking sound of strained laughter, simply gives it away just how much fun Ayame seems to be having at my expense.
She is having a fucking blast.
I don't think I'm ready to joke about all this yet, but her behavior washes over me in a wave of relief. Maybe all I need is a laugh or two, anything that would help me ease my mind. That was horrible, but I love it.
Well, of course you do. My stuck-up impression is spot on.
Not the words I'd use to describe it, but I didn't have it in me to burst her bubble, so I step back and make my way for her to join me in my room instead. Barely glancing around, Ayame quickly makes her way to the foot of my bed, plopping down on the covers before turning her piercing violet eyes on me.
So, how are you?
Not well. I think it's all just too much right now. It's a little too real, you know? Everything I've ever known is gone and nothing will ever bring it back. Oh, trauma. I guess I just need anything, to feel normal again. Pressing her lips together, Ayame stares at me for a few more seconds before blinking away and shaking her own head. I'm glad she came to check on me and that she bothered asking how I'm feeling, yet I'm curious. Yet curiosity still nags at me as to her thoughts on me. There's no other way to put it, and I don't think I can beat around the bush with this one. I beat around her bush. Does it bother you? Who I am?
Not really, no. I mean, it was a shock when I found out you were actually some big shot noble. Yeah, but by then the damage was already done.
Not sure how much of a big shot I am, but what damage? She shrugs, making a face that makes it impossible to say she regrets anything she might have done prior to finding that out.
I like her already. It doesn't matter to me who your folks are or anything of the sort.
I wouldn't be able to express the relief I feel at her words if I tried my best. The idea of the crew pushing me away because of my family terrifies me. They're the only people I've known around me right now, and despite the short time we've known each other, I've come to rely on them. Maybe I shouldn't, but it's true. I've noticed a slight change in her stance, how she came around to check up on me this early in the day, but I'll take it over to being ignored. I give Aya a smile in return, and she beams right back at me with an intensity that makes me think she wants to squash my worries with the brightest of smiles.
And her boobs.
Yes, perky boobs. Tapping on the empty bed space next to her, Aya gestures to me to come over.
Have I ever told you how I ended up in the army?
Oh my god, we're getting everyone's fucking backstory.
Oh my god.
I'm aware Calderon and her had served together. But while I can clearly see why the captain would choose to follow a military career, it's quite hard to picture Ayame waking up one day and enlisting. Shaking my head, she hesitates a moment before speaking again.
Well, it's a long story, so...
I'm listening. I want to hear it. I lean back against the wall, sitting on my bed, as ready as myself to listen to her story.
I was born on Catalpa. It wasn't in its best state by then already, with all the chaos caused by the most recent experiments, but it was home. I'll admit I'm not very well versed on the political nuances of how the Catalfans tried to escape the impending doom of our home, but I know the others were dicks about it. The Talari all but kicked us out of their doorstep, but we were never really close, so I don't know what they thought was going on. I wasn't even 10 years old at the time, and hardly anybody talks about that now.
Aya pauses, her throat bobbing up and down as she closes her eyes for a moment. I don't interrupt her, respecting her pace at telling me her story. I lost my home, but Goldus is still there. Catalfa, on the other hand...
King Fenris, though, and not trying to be disrespectful, but already being, he was a...
fucking son of a bitch.
But he was a fucking son of a bitch.
You suddenly forget how to read.
Yes.
It's like, I know those squiggles mean something. Fuck. When Aya speaks again, it's with eyes burning with anger and frustration, venom in her voice when she says the king's, my father's, name.
Do you know what he said when my people asked for shelter? That we could work for it. Which is fair, only in the mines, the same shithole they threw criminals and whoever else they didn't like in. The same place that led our home to ruin. If it wasn't for that stupid place, they would have never uncovered that stupid substance, and we would have never decided to experiment with it to try and weaponize it. I get it, okay? We were to blame for our own doom. If we hadn't been greedy to the point of wanting to mess with shit like that, we would have never fucked things up and messed with our planet's core. But it doesn't matter now. Catelfa is gone. This was supposed to be about me, I guess. I shouldn't have started calling your father names. I didn't know him like you did, or something.
He had it coming. My father and I were never close. His aides probably saw him more than I did. And seeing what his action caused other people to suffer, a whole species, innocent people, this crew, makes me sick to think I'm related to that man. He had it coming.
You really don't mean that, do you? Yes, the fuck I do.
I don't know. I hate everything I heard about him. I hate that he was an absent father, but can I truly condone murder? I'm sorry, I don't know. I look at it this way, right? When there's a dog that has rabies, when there's an animal that's gone mad and is a danger to society, do you fucking put it through therapy or do you put it down because it's a dangerous creature?
Yeah. It's okay. We don't need another bloodthirsty member on this crew. Leave that to us experienced pros. Thank you, though. I appreciate the feeling.
Ayame gives me an honest smile, reaching out to squeeze my knee once before sitting back up and carrying on with her story.
Well, anyway. All the young Catalfans were shipped off in pods for the surrounding planets. Despite of the lack of open doors for us, we have always been adaptable. We weren't about to roll over and die. My parents, they stayed behind with all the adults and elders, but they put me in a pod with my little brother. Directed it to Goldus because they thought we'd have a better chance of making it there.
Oh, so all their family just stayed behind on the planet when it blew up?
Yeah, like, they sent the kids and all the adults and elders just stayed because...
It was like a mass Superman situation?
Yeah.
You have a brother? It's only after the words leave my mouth and her face twists into a sad frown that I realize how stupid my question was.
Had.
I'm sorry. Aya shrugs it off, and I don't insist. She'll talk about it when she's ready, and I must respect that.
He was little when this happened, so he didn't really understand what had happened when we made it to Goldus. But we were alone in some back alley from the Bronze District, and there was no one else to look out for us. I had to take that on myself, taking care of me, my little brother, making sure we had food to eat, shelter to sleep. We couldn't just waltz into a foster home. And nobody would even spare us a glance in the streets. People in Bronze are poor. Jobs are scarce, and you gotta make do with what you have. I ended up doing what most street kids there did. Stealing food, clothes, toys, money, books. I tried to get anything I could for my little brother. He was growing, you know. I guess so was I. But I didn't want him to lose out on anything. I'd teach him how to read, write, math. I tried to give him a chance to be someone, while depriving myself of all of it. I had no home anymore. He was my home. He was the only thing that kept me going. But maybe I never really thought about how he felt. You see, I tried to make him into the perfect boy so he could grow up to become the perfect man. I never taught him the ways of the streets, despite both of us living on it for years and years.
Her voice wavers and my chest tightens. Somehow I get the feeling I know how this story is going to end. Aya continues to speak, her voice lower, her fingers drawing random patterns on my bed covers.
He was growing up, and you know boys, they're curious, naive. I didn't see it. He kept it from me, or maybe I just refused to see it even when it was right in front of me. Who knows? But he started doing drugs. He made some friends, started hanging out with some other kids, and I might have sheltered him too much. He would try anything they could get their hands on. They were just misguided kids in the end, you know? One
Wanted
day,
it to be perfect, and somehow that didn't translate to teaching him basic survival skills.
one day I came back to her hideout and he was dead.
The expression is a mix of sorrow and rage, and there are truly no words to be said that would matter in this situation. Losing a loved one is horrible. Losing your own only family, after losing your parents and giving up your life for his happiness, I don't know what I would have done in her place. I'm scared to know what she did.
I was so angry at him, at his friends, at me. I left. I ran. I couldn't stand saying goodbye to all I had left from my family. I couldn't stand admitting it was my own damn fault he was gone. So I did something stupid like every other grieving person out there.
A broken laugh, a sad smile. I was nothing more than a reach out to her. But something keeps me in place, so all I do is watch.
I went after those kids. I didn't know them, nor did I care to. I wanted to blame someone, a life for a life, and I couldn't think of anyone else to blame. I never got the chance to exact my revenge, though. One of the kids was the child of a guard member. They were on my ass in a second, beating me up for raising my filthy Kitelfin hands at his precious drug dealer fucking kid. Next thing I know, I'm getting thrown in a cell all bruised and starving. A couple days go by and I'm already accepting my impending death, you know? It's not something you fear when you grow up in the streets. It's just something inevitable. But instead, this army dude comes along and says that instead of being shipped off to the mines, they're giving me a chance to enlist. I assumed they needed some grunt work, or it was some twisted form of charity they did. Regardless, I took the deal. Why would I ever give them the pleasure of shipping an illegal Catalfan refugee back to the stupid mines when I could make them give me food, shelter, and a paycheck? Besides, I didn't really have anything else to do.
As if it was practiced, I bounced off the sad aura she had until just a moment ago, moving on like it was nothing, and for some reason I don't trust the easy smile on her face. It worries me, in fact. Just how often does Aya have to act like everything is fine on the surface? All those years of fending for her brothers, suppressing her own feelings, that's not something that just fades away.
It was easy enough, the Cadet Academy. I wasn't the best in academics, but man did I kick ass in piloting classes or what. Once I graduated, they shipped me off to the Bronze District, and I ended up in dear old Captain's squad. That might have made him suffer a bit with my antics, but I respected the man. He was a decent guy, chose to be in Bronze because he wanted to help others and all that, so I had his back. Even if he most likely ended up losing some life years or whatever. Whenever I got him to go out with me on a joyride.
But isn't that against the law?
That's half the fun!
It's easy to imagine the captain's reaction whenever he found himself stuck with Aya in a situation like that. It's even easier to imagine Aya's reaction to that. As for me, I'm just glad they're still alive after that.
His stuck-up and responsible behavior even rubbed off on me because when they fucked him over, I was able to control my urge for revenge and managed to help him out. And here we are today. Zovak never did anything to me directly, but I can never forgive him for going for Calderon. I guess it's an army thing? I'll stand by my commander for as long as I'm alive.
To be fair, I'm not sure Zovak could have done anything. I'm like, the only person that she has left is Calderon, and you already set him up for execution. She busted him out, so...
She's like, I ain't got shit left except this motherfucker right here, and you have fucked with my motherfucker.
Thank you for the follow, Ishberry. Hope you're doing well. Not gonna lie, the lament configuration might have scared the poop out of me a little. Wasn't expecting that. Her face might have still had the youthful smile on, but her eyes were dead serious when she talked about how she respected the captain. She didn't even seem to realize that she called him commander, but unlike Damon, she didn't seem to use that term to mock him.
Anyway, enough about me. I just wanted you to know that you're not alone here. We may be just a bunch of weird misfits with an arguable set of morals, but we've got each other's back. Thanks for talking with me.
Yeah. Thank you, Aya.
What's the shortest dialogue?
Don't mention it. I'd like to think you'd do the same for me. We've known each other for 5 days.
Aya reaches out and takes a hold of my hand again, a sweet smile on her lips. I'm ridiculously glad that despite last night, despite who I am, Aya still has been kind enough to come here before getting started on her day just to check on me. I don't reply, but I squeeze her hand gently, and her smile broadens even more. Words sometimes take away from what you're truly feeling. I can only hope she understands how much this means to me, and that I would absolutely do the same for her if she ever needs me to. Sorry I had to take time off your day for this.
Nah, it's all good. I'm early anyway. Pretty sure I'll give Calderon a stroke or something when he sees me walking in the bridge at this ungodly hour. If I went any earlier, he'd probably drop dead, and I don't really want to be haunted by his nagging ghost for the rest of my life, you know?
She glares at the sunlight streaming from the window next to us, and I wonder what she was even considered as an acceptable hour to wake up. I wouldn't surprise me if she saw it somewhere around noon.
Sounds correct to me. Better go now, though. I can already feel that this will be one hell of a day.
Aya stands up from my bed, quickly making her way to the door.
Looking forward to our next one-on-one time, Otto.
Throwing me a final wink, she leaves my room. Her footsteps echoing on the corridor just outside.
Becomes Swedish.
Yeah. Specifically the Swedish chef. I feel lighter after talking with her, and determined. Stifling a yawn, I get up and head outside as well.
Okay, now we can end.
Okay. After speaking with Aya, I find myself wondering what the rest of the crew thinks about all this.
Okay, now we can save.
Oh my god.
Because I know there's one more conversation, if not 2.
Okay. Alright.
Go to
Okay.
page 2.
Huh?
Page 2. You can save on page 2.
Well, I already saved right here.
Oh.
Nerd.
God, this is so long ago that they haven't started putting memes in the save file names.
What?
No,
Or-
like
or
E3,
play-
Demon. Then you get to like episode 7 and it's like, this ain't a scene, it's a goddamn arms race.
Alright. So,
We have gone over by half an hour.
that's not our worst. Yeah. I'm exhausted. The lumps are now swollen. Like, I used to have lumps in my throat, much like Otto did throughout this entire fucking episode tonight. But now it's just kind of closing up because I've been talking for like 3.5 hours straight. And Megan is being assaulted by a fucking Tyrannosaurus Rex. With no legs. Pet attack.
Somehow a band-aid got there.
Ew. Gross. I'm not sure Ashbury signed up for what the hell is it? The Judy, like those puppets from like the medieval ages? Punch and Judy. I didn't think they signed up for Punch and Judy. This has been Otome Oclock. I'm exhausted. It's getting a little warm in here.
Yes.
I want to thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We appreciate you.
It has been lovely.
Yes, it's been lovely hanging out with you. Apparently, Ashbury is totally here for dinosaur punching. God, oh no. Now you've just encouraged Adam. And expect more puppetry. You've unlocked his special interest. Next time we'll be streaming is going to be next Thursday. We're going to be playing Stardew Valley. Other than that, we're gonna edit this episode. It'll eventually come up on the YouTube page.
Yeah.
Links are in the profiles. And you can also check out Ash says, I am also an enabler. This is my MO. Nice. Welcome to the family. You're gonna fit right in. I'm turning on the fan, it's gonna make noise. Slim Jim is my favorite. Who the fuck are we? I'm Mega Hunt. Oh, I'm Mega. I'm Ashley. Like it says on my fucking name down here. I'm Ashley. That's Megan.
Yeah.
Over there. The other person on the other side of the screen, I would point this way. Over there, that's Megan. I am Ashley. Like it says down here.
This way?
Somewhere else.
Yeah, that's a direction.
Someplace else.
Is it pointing the way I want it?
I think so. That's the direction the dinosaur comes from.
Okay. And that's Adamant. And that's the dinosaur.
You can hear him in the background saying a bunch of random shit while Megan and I are trying to have a serious moment. We're trying to build drama and have a fucking soap opera. And he's like, you said balls! Like, you fucking asshole. But yeah, if you're interested in seeing the rest of our bullshit, check out our YouTubes, where I took 5 minutes of my time and edited out all the awkward pauses and stuff that aren't actually funny. Oh, I hope weren't actually funny. And I just...
And all the, like, fucking
just like
sneezes and burps and shit.
Or just me like, oh no, I need to click on a window.
Or us
5 hours of silent awkward typing.
Yeah. But yeah, next Thursday we're playing Stardew, and the Tuesday after that we're playing Sucker for Love.
Yep. Next to Otome O'Clock, because we do Otome O'Clock every other Tuesday.
Barring significant illness.
Sucker for Love is interesting. It has a bit of a Halloween flair. If you like H.P. Lovecraft, you're going to be at least mildly interested in Sucker for Love.
Just like tentacles.
Oh, yeah, you like little tentacles? Yeah.
I'm sorry, did I fucking stutter?
I said tentacles, bitch. Yeah.
But yeah, that's been us.
That's been us. We play video games. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for the follow, Ashbury. We hope to see you back. Yeah. I'm done now, so I'm gonna hit the off button.
Bye.
Bye.
We need a puppet attack prompt now.
A puppet attack prompt?
In the...
Oh god, we need a puppet emoji.
Or,
all right.
redeem
I'm actually
hydrate.
leaving now. Goodbye.
Redeem hydrate.